Hey everybody, this is Joseph Pasek, and welcome to the Fired Up Network. Welcome to Blue Jays Strike Zone Game 7 of the World Series preview with the two-time Emmy Award winner, Mark Everett Kelly. I wanted Game 7. No biasness. As you know, I'm from Toronto. I'm the president of the
No
province
bias.
President of the province of Canada, the mayor-elect of North America, soon to run for the mayor of Mozambique. Can't spell it, but it can run for it. With Mark Everett Kelly. Game 7 here. It's do or die. Our backs against the wall. Canada versus America. You're American, right? I'm Canadian.
Last I checked.
I'm better looking. I got down there bigger and everything like that. You're
Okay.
American. You're going for the Dodgers. You're going for the Dodgers. I'm going for the Blue Jays. It's at Rogers Center right here. The crowd is buzzing. The crowd is buzzing. This is Game 7. 32 years ago, Joe Carter touched the ball, Joe. You'll never hit a bigger home run in your life. But that was Game 6. Blue Jays should have won in Game 6, in my opinion. In the ninth inning, the ball gets stuck. The ball gets stuck underneath the wall there. This is, and I spoke here at the Rogers Center. I said, who's in charge of that? Guess what? It's a guy whose relatives are in California. Oh, ho, hum, ho, hum. How convenient is that? Come on. All right.
How convenient, right? Yeah.
Before we look at Game 7, let's look back at Game 6, specifically the ninth inning. Addison Barger hits a missile. A missile. It gets stuck, and then it's a double play. The Dodgers win. Your thoughts?
Yeah, well, Barch has been the unknown hero. I mean, has come out of nowhere. You know as well as I do, postseasons are full of those guys who all of a sudden, maybe had a good regular season, maybe didn't. Nobody really knows who they are. The second baseman, I didn't say his last name, Jimenez.
Jimenez.
Yeah, he was. I mean, he was a Met farmhand at one point. They gave up on him, and he's gotten big hit after big hit.
What about
Toronto.
Ernie Clement?
I mean,
Ernie Clement is, you know what, for
Ernie
me,
Clement's
if
been
they win the World Series, Vlad is going to get consideration. But for me, Ernie Clement should be maybe World Series MVP.
Yeah, like he's like the Mark Lemke's of the world. Remember Mark Lemke?
Yes, yes.
You know, came out of nowhere.
And all that, yeah.
For the Braves, Denny Doyle or I forget, was it Denny or Larry Doyle for the Yankees, who was playing for Bucky Dent, who was injured.
Bucky Dent. That's it.
Keep mentioning
those names. Keep mentioning those names.
Came out of nowhere.
All right. So
Marty Barrett. Marty Barrett had a great 86. Yeah. Anyway.
Who cares about 86? We're talking about 2025 here. Now, let's look. Like I said,
you're right.
The crowd is buzzing, and that could change. But here it is. Here it is. Matt Scherzer, Mad Max starting for the Jays. I have been tipped that look for Chris Bassett to pitch, even Shane Bieber to pitch. And as I came in here, they were talking. I'm just not saying this, but they were talking. It is Gausman was talking to John Schneider. I wouldn't be surprised if Gausman pitches an inning or whatever. He was talking to John Schneider. Gausman, of course, pitched yesterday. Now, for the Dodgers, Tyler Glasnow, who came in and pitched like 4 pitches, he has told Roberts he's ready for anything today. Shohei Ohtani will pitch. I don't believe Yamamoto will pitch, but I believe everybody else is on deck for the Dodgers. The Blue Jays have announced their lineup for today's game, and it's basically identical from last night's game. I'm going to just get to it here with the Blue Jays lineup here. Okay, so Springer starts off at DH. Nathan Lucas, Guerrero, Bichette. Barger betting 5th. Kirk, Varsho, Clement, Jimenez, and Scherzer. So that's the starting lineup for the Blue Jays tonight. For the Dodgers, the exact same lineup as last night. We got Shohei Ohtani, who's pitching and hitting first. All right. Smith, Freeman, Bettis, Muncy, Hernandez, Edmund, Hernandez, and Rojas. That's the lineup. That's the exact same lineup as last night. Game 7. This series has been, even though the Blue Jays have a little bit more edge on runs, but it's fairly been an even series. For the Dodgers to win, they have to win back-to-back in Toronto. Toronto did win back-to-back in LA. All right. So here it is. Mark, I'm going to ask you, give me your prediction, give me how the game's going to go, and give me your World Series MVP. That stands, Mark, because I know in New York and all that, a little bit slow, but MVP, most valuable player.
Okay, man, wise guy. All right. Well, here Scherzer's making his 28th postseason start. All right. And he'll be making his 6th World Series start, but he's only 1-0. And he's 8-8 overall in the postseason. I didn't like he gave him some innings in game, in game 3?
Yes.
Or game, yeah. So but to me, he won't be a factor. Like, he's just a little bit too old. They're just throwing him out there. It's not as bad as when the Yankees threw out Kevin Brown for Game 7 against the Red Sox and he got bombed. But Scherzer's kind of he's not going to really play any factor in this game. I don't think it's going to come down to the bullpen. It's going to come down to guys like Yuskevich, guys like Bassett. If Gausman everybody's available. Okay, they'll like we were talking before. They're going to grab Jim Clancy and Doyle Alexander. Watching from Blue Jays past, they're going to be available this game. And the Dodgers got Steve Howe and Tim Belcher and all those other guys that they got.
Or Hershiser.
I think, not Hershiser. He's a little too good. We have to keep it to nondescript names. Even Dave Stewart, maybe when he was a Dodger. Okay.
Well, Dave Stewart was a Blue Jay when they won the World Series in Game 6. Right. Dave Stewart started.
He did start, and then everybody forgets too that the Phillies were down 5-1 in that game, and they came back in the 7th score, and I think 5 runs.
Made it 6-5. Yeah, made it 6-5. Yep.
Yeah, and that led up till the 9th inning, and all the events that happened there, and I think everybody knows what happened there. But the world, you were mentioning guys like Barger could be an MVP for this series. Yuskevich could be an MVP. I think he, like you were saying, if he gets any innings and he makes any kind of an impact, say he gets, pitches like Randy Johnson, who came out against the Yankees in Game 5 of that crazy series and wound up pitching 3 innings. If Yuskevich has that kind of thing and, gives him, 8 or 9 batters.
You're savage. You're savage.
You're savage. Yeah.
You're savage. You're savage.
He's like a hockey goaltender. Okay.
You're talking about Yuskevich. Dmitry Yuskevich is a defenseman. Come on, get it right here. All right, get it right. Pick up your game here from New York. All right, but listen. All right, I'm gonna say and for Payne. All right, is it big? The World Series big in that area?
No. Nobody cares. Down here, nobody cares. I'm the only one pretty much who cares.
All right, so I'm going to ask you this. Okay,
everybody's watching college football tonight. Nobody's going to be watching the World Series. Everybody's watching college football.
Is big, and by the way, as we're doing this, the Eastern Divisional Final in the Canadian Football League has just finished, and the Montreal Alouettes have beaten the Winnipeg 42-33. So they're heading into the Eastern Division Final. All right, they're heading into the Eastern Division Final next week against Hamilton. I digress. That's the Canadian Football League as we go to the Grey Cup, which happens November 16th in Winnipeg. But anyways, Game 7. Baseball here. Stick to baseball, all right? Don't talk about hockey. Don't talk about college football. Don't talk about the Buffalo Bills, how they're going to humiliate the Kansas City Chiefs tomorrow. Don't talk about me and Swifty. We're going to party in Toronto because, World Series is going to come down here, and we're going to party. We're going to shake it off and everything like that. You're a Swifty. I know you're a Swifty. You know what? If you're a good boy, Mark, I'll get you one of those Taylor Swift bands, okay? And that's it. All right. Hear enough. Enough lollygagging. Give me your prediction. Tell me what's going to happen tonight in Game 7. Tell the world how wrong you're going to be.
Well, look, I had said Dodgers in 5. I was wrong. Okay.
Yeah. No, wait. You said As opposed to another guy I hear here, the broadcasting legend, Norm Rumack, all the way from Syracuse University. He picked the Blue Jays in 7. I picked the Blue Jays in 6 or 7. So we're leading. You picked the Dodgers in 5. Come on. By the way, this is technically game 8 because remember, we had an 18-inning game. This is technically game 8.
Yeah, you're right. You're right. Okay, so here's what I see happening. Okay, now that the game is where it is, that series is where it is, I think the Blue Jays are going to win tonight.
You gave them the curse now.
No, okay. Well, if they're cursed, then they're cursed. Okay, but it had nothing to do with me. Remember.
You're saying the Toronto Blue Jays. It's about time you get a hat, right? You're saying the Toronto Blue Jays will win tonight.
I left mine at home. I have a Brooklyn Dodger hat, though.
Give us the score. Give us the MVP of tonight's game.
I think tonight's game. I think Barger's going to get a big hit. I think it's going to be 7-4 Blue Jays.
So Mark Everett Kelly, the two-time Emmy Award winner, has gone against his prediction of the Dodgers in 5, now picking the Blue Jays in 7. He's picking the Blue Jays to win tonight, 7-4. Addison Barger, tonight's MVP. And who would you give the World Series MVP to?
I give it to you have to give it to, if Barger has a big game, you kind of got to give it to him.
Okay. So, Mark, sit back. I will tell you, the president of the province of Canada, the mayor-elect of North America, soon to run for the mayor of Mozambique, I'll tell you what's going to happen. You see here?
All right.
It's a Toronto Blue Jay. It's a Canadian, right? This is Canada versus America. Nobody expected the Blue Jays to be in the World Series, even though they can't spell the World Series. That's Addison Barger calling me for tips. But anyways, I'm going to tell you this. In Game 7, Game 6, everybody thought this is going to be – they won both World Series in 6 games. So that means they're going to lose in Game 7 and all that. Listen to me and listen good. Nobody expected the Blue Jays here.
Okay.
Nobody expected. They had a magical season. Everybody expected the Dodgers here. Yes, they had. Blue Jays cannot hit Yamamoto. Blue Jays have a hard time hitting Shohei Ohtani, but they're still here. They went 18 innings with the Dodgers in LA. This is going to be a very close game. Very close game. I'm Canadian. I'm going with the Blue Jays. The obvious winner of the World Series MVP will be Vlad Guerrero. But I'm going to tell you, tonight's game, Vlad Guerrero should have a big game, but this is how I envision it. Matt Scherzer, if he doesn't go, like you see, Gosman went down 3-0. The more he goes, 4, 5, 6 innings, if it's 1-0, 2-1, something like that, the better chance the Blue Jays have. If they're leading, great. If they're down, the better chance. If it's not 3-0 or 4-0, if it's close, the better chance the Blue Jays have. I believe, like I said, the Blue Jays will win. Vlad Guerrero will be the overall MVP. But I believe today, Barger's going to come through. But today, for the Dodgers, Teoscar Hernandez is going to come through. And for the Blue Jays,
okay,
Ernie Clement is going to come through. The small players, Kirk, Ernie Clement, Varger,
Kirk's had a heck of a series too.
Everything. Yeah. Alejandro Kirk, who looks like you, a little bit, rounded and everything. So here it is.
It looks like Molina. Remember the younger Molina that the Blue Jays had for a little while?
That's it. So, Reggie Molina. But I believe the Blue Jays will win. And since it's 2026, since this is the 3rd World Series victory, I believe the Blue Jays will win a very, very tough game, probably 2 or 3 runs win today. I believe Guerrero will be the MVP overall, but today's MVP will be a smaller player. I also believe that Blue Jays have something up their sleeves. Nobody has. They talked about because I see it here that Shane Beaver is throwing side sessions. So I believe Bassett is available, Beaver's
Mhm.
available, but I
Absolutely.
wouldn't it be so apropos the game winning hit in game 7, Ernie Clement, the winning pitcher, you savage. There it is. The
Yeah, I
future
can see that.
of the Blue Jays winning tonight. Now, as I digress, Mark has two great sponsors that have told me that they're going to help me out with food, with cars, with everything once I go to what's that city called? Fort Payne.
Fort
Fort,
Payne,
is
yeah.
there anything? Since I'm a stud, look at my hair. I'm a stud. Is there any girls in Fort Payne who want to meet the president of the province of Canada?
Well, there's not many girls in Fort Payne. I hate to tell you
Wait a
that aren't
minute.
married or
Yeah,
that are single
wait a minute.
in
So,
our age.
on average, if there's three guys, there's only one girl.
I would say there's not even 3 guys. I would say maybe yeah. I mean, everybody's married, Joe.
What do you
What are you
mean,
gonna do?
everybody? Are you married?
No,
So don't you live in
everybody
Fort
but me.
Payne? Hey, Mark,
Everybody but
I
me.
have something for you.
We're in the Bible Belt now. Okay, divorce has been really rampant. So most people, they stay married and generational down here. So you have families that stick together. A little different up north.
I have
Um,
something for
yeah.
you. I have something for you. All right.
What?
Now, as today, another big thing because I know we have fans worldwide. Yesterday, Devon White threw out the first pitch. I have heard. By the way, this is for you. A ring for
Okay.
you. It's the 2025-26 Super Bowl ring that the Buffalo Bills are going to win.
Okay.
All right.
Oh God. Okay.
So number one, I have heard that Paul Molitor will throw out
Yeah.
the first pitch of today's game. Paul Molitor, of course, great representative of 93. Remember Wamco, White, Alomar, Carter, Olerud. That was a lineup there for the Blue Jays and all that. But I digress. Tell everybody about your sponsors and everybody enjoy and be safe. Win or lose. Probably win. Be safe. Don't wreck our city. Mark has to come all the way from Fort Payne to see Toronto in a celebration. By the way, I have also heard if there is a parade, it's going to be on Tuesday. It's going to be on Tuesday there if there is a parade. So there it is. Go ahead. Be safe. Mark, tell everybody about your sponsors.
We have the Cattle Stampede in Fort Payne, which is a very good buffet restaurant. Miles Smith runs it. And Miles, again, we're talking community businesses, community men. Miles is one of he's been doing this for years. He does things like he feeds on Thanksgiving. He'll feed a bunch of homeless people. He does so many wonderful things. And the prices and the food, like, they don't match. The food is very good. I had somebody telling me yesterday, we should charge more for the food that we have because it's that good. And Miles is that sincere in trying to help people and trying to help middle class families afford good meals for their kids and healthy food. And it's a great place to eat. I try to eat there as many times a week as I can. And now that I got a place there, I just closed on a place today. So I am moving to Waynesville.
Congratulations.
Yeah, thank you. No more hour and a half commute every day. So I don't have to worry about that. But Miles, and the Cattle Stampede, you got to check that out in Fort Payne. It's right off exit 218. He'll treat all the staff there. Everybody's great, and they'll treat you like kings. Bobby Ledbetter is a car salesman, the Twin City Auto Sales. That they have branches in Fort Payne, and they have another branch in Gadsden. And like I said, Bobby's a guy that, and all the staff, they sit down, they listen to you. They don't sell you things you don't need. And you buy one car from them, you'll buy for the rest of your life. And I know Miles himself had bought like 5 or 6 cars from him. I haven't bought a car yet because I haven't needed one, but when I do, that's where I'm going. And again, you mention my name, you get $500 off car sales price. And if you mention my name at the Stampede, you get 10% off. I'm building up more and more. Maybe it'll be 15% in another 6 months, 20%. I don't know. Maybe it'd be $1,000 in another 6 months for the cars. I got to prove myself too, Joe. Everybody's got to pull their weight. But now you mentioned about the World Series MVP. Now Clement and Barger, two guys I think have been outstanding. Barger's 10 for 21, got 1 homer, five RBIs, and Clement's got 9 hits. But it just seems like he's always on base and he's always in the middle of the rally. And same thing with Barger. And they've both been clutch. Jimenez has been clutch. And those are the types of players that win in Game 7. It's not, but I will say this, okay? The hit that I believe really gave and turned around this World Series was Guerrero's homer off of Ohtani in Game 4. That was a tough pitch, and you need your big-time players to make big-time plays. And Ohtani was tough. Like, I don't know if you saw this, but at the end of Game 3, the manager for the Dodgers in there in the clubhouse saying, "Hey, guys, we're playing in another couple hours." And there's Freak Boy Ohtani in the background doing a pitching motion. Like, he couldn't wait to get out there. Ohtani's such a gamer, and he was ready to pitch that Game 4. And when Guerrero hit that home run off him, I think that kind of took the wind out of his sails, and it kind of gave Toronto life. And that's what you need. And Vladdy, like, his dad was great. Okay, I remember his dad, probably the best right field arm I ever seen since Roberto Clemente. Clutch hitter, and he could hit any pitch anywhere out of the ballpark. His son isn't like that with the pitches, but he's a little bit better at pitch selection, and he's been really, really clutch this postseason. And having Springer back too is going to help.
As you've seen, Vlad Guerrero a couple of games ago came with an Austin Matthews jersey. Today he walked in with a Marie-Philippe Poulin Canada jersey, and Marie-Philippe Poulin is like the Wayne Gretzky of ladies hockey, so maybe that's apropos there. And Mark, I'm going to tell you this. You're in Fort Payne, all right? Nothing happening in Fort Payne. I'm going to tell you, take the plane, go to Toronto under expense and all that. I'll get Norm to put you up.
Fired up network, I'll expense it to them.
Yeah. I'll get Norm to put you up in his palatial estate of 200 square feet. A washroom's bigger than his house, all right? And you could share the same washroom and everything like that. And Norm is as a man who frequents establishments, if you know what I mean, right? But Mark, I'm going to tell you right now, tonight, it's Game 7. It's do or die. I'm going to be back here around 11:15. You're more than welcome to be back here. We're going to be, but if you're going to come back here and the Blue Jays win, I want you to be naked. I want you to streak down the streets of Fort Payne and scream, Blue Jays, people will think you're nuts. And maybe you're already nuts. I know you're nuts. All right. No problem. Streak down and find that one lady in Fort Payne who's like 480 pounds, who will get you to be your wife and everything. We'll propose on air. I got the ring for you. Look, I got the ring for you and everything like that. Tonight, fans, 11:15, win or lose. If we're going to lose, it's going to be somber. But if we win, Norm's going to be shickered up. He has no hair anyways. His hair is going to stand up on his back because he's a hairy fool, right? He's a hairy fool. His hair is going to stand on his back. Mark, you're more than welcome. 11:15 tonight, live, as it happens, win or lose, Game 7, Blue Jays champion. We are the champions, and you're going to sing it. If we're not the champions, you're going to sing American, because you're American, the American national anthem. You're more than welcome to be on here. We're going to have
I'll be here.
A slew of people. Norm's going to be streaking. You're going to be streaking in Fort Payne. I'm going to declare I have a bet with Donald S. Trump. Is it S? I don't know. Okay. So with Donald
Trump.
Donald T. Trump, whatever. I'll play his trumpet. I'm the president. He's the president. We have a bet. I will let go, right? He's going to let go. If Canada wins, Blue Jay wins, he will let go of the Canadian tariffs for Fired Up Network. So anybody in Fired Up Network will not pay tariffs. If they lose, the tariffs will be 75%. All right.
I heard he's going to buy Greenland if the Dodgers win.
Greenland. I hear he's buying Iceland and Volcano Land and everything like that. But anyways, I digress. I say the Blue Jays win. You say the Blue Jays win. We're going to party like in 1993 when you had somewhat resemblable face and you were chasing after the ladies and all that.
That was a whole different me. Yeah.
1993. That
I was a dog back then.
You know that song, The Return of Mark? I'm telling you, that was the return of Mark Everett Kelly. Boy, when he was in high school, what a stud he was. His pads were on the floor. He was throwing bombs in the football field, and somebody sacked him, and he ripped his pads and everything like that. And Joe, my pads are broken. What do you want me to do? I'm not a sewer, all right? So, look, here we go. Mark, myself, Norm will join us later on tonight, 11:15, around 11:15. Go Jays, go! Bring home the World Series. Thank you to Mark Everett Kelly's sponsors. And if you're there in Fort Payne, I'm sure the Stampede or the Corral is going to show the Blue Jays game. If it doesn't show the Blue Jays game, it's okay. Tell them to watch the Maple Leafs versus the Philadelphia Flyers. There's nothing happening in college football, just like 75 games. Who cares? Nobody cares about college football. It's the World Series. The World Series. Toronto. Oh, God. 3-time World Series champions. Three. Like you're the 2-time Emmy Award winner, 2-time. They're going to be 3-time World Series champions. And then when they win, Mark, you're coming back here at 11:15. And you're going to start off the show by singing "Oh Canada." So you got from now.
Then we'll quickly lose all the views we have.
Yeah, it doesn't matter. You're singing "Oh Canada" because I hear your voice will put everybody to sleep. Thanks a lot, Mark. Enjoy the game. Enjoy Game 7. And go Jays, go. Bring us home a World Series victory. Thanks a lot, Mark.
You too, bud.